All right. Well, welcome everybody to the final Thesis Academy session. This is Thesis Academy number 4, which I've entitled, I just submitted, now what do I do? The goal for today's session is to kind of take students through the end process after the documents come into my office and kind of what my role is, kind of how I process, kind of the tools I use, the time frames we kind of look at for students, and then obviously give the students a chance to ask questions. I know there's a couple of you who are joining us via Zoom who are in that process, who have documents in the queue. Hopefully I can answer some specific questions you may have on that, or we can just ask general questions about the process as we go through here in the next little bit. So I am Wayne Cochran. I'm the Graduate Student Success Coordinator here in the Graduate College. My office handles all theses and dissertations as they come through. So mine is the name and the face you'll work with when it comes time to submit your document and move you from I want to graduate to crossing that stage after completing thesis and dissertation. We'll go over a couple of things today. Hopefully this won't take too long. I mean, the process is there's a couple of steps to it, but it's not anything super hopefully nuanced to you. But again, try to be transparent and take you through it as we think. If you have any questions along the way, don't be afraid to throw your hands up. As Adrienne, our advanced coordinator, mentioned before, those of you who are on Zoom, throw your questions into the chat, and we can stop and answer those at any point. I'll save some room at the end as well. But ideally, we're here to answer questions. So let me know if you have some. So the first thing I'm going to start with, I'm going to look at, again, I'm going to come back to my web page here for the Graduate Student Success Center. There's lots of different things we do here. They're kind of all lined out via tab. Today we're focusing specifically on thesis and dissertation information. So I'm going to click my handy button here, and I'm going to come down to my squares. I kind of introduced this page and some of these squares in our first Thesis Academy session when we talked about deadlines and what you're going to do early in the semester when it's you know that you want to finish up your project. Today we're going to focus on the button submission information, and we're going to come back to deadlines as well because we're going to talk about some different dates here. So I clicked on the deadline dates square. You'll see there's we try to keep that fairly current, so we'll do a summer, a spring, or a fall and a spring. So we're going to focus on December for now. Some of you may be looking at May 2024 or even beyond that. We generally try to keep up the 3 semesters that are on there and keep the dates current. But you'll see for a fall defense or a fall graduation, obviously deadline day to submit thesis and dissertation was last Friday. So I know a couple of you again who submitted last Friday, which is awesome. We use ProQuest ETD to manage our theses and dissertations, which has been very, very nice. It's a good system. It's fairly automated. We can generate a lot of streamlined emails, communicate really well with the students. It works really well for bringing in documents, pushing them back out, and making sure everything is where it needs to be. At the end of that process, your document will be housed in ProQuest ETD, but that's not the official repository. So I'll keep in mind with students as well is that our official repository with the university is still ScholarWorks at the library. So when this process is all done, we'll work through ProQuest for processing. ProQuest will handle the printing and the binding if you so choose to do that with your document. And then they'll house the kind of return for that. We're in their database. And then when we're all done with that process, we'll also upload your document officially to the repository here as well. We handle all of that. You guys don't have to be involved in any of that. But just note when this process is over, your document will be housed in a couple of different places with Boise State attached to it. So you wonder, that's a pretty early date in the semester. We still have roughly 4 or 5 weeks left in the semester. So the focus after you turn that document in turns to what we do here in the Graduate College. So you're going to see this period here. The next date we have listed here is Friday, December 8th. And it also says last day to submit final version. What's going to happen in the next 5 weeks? In fact, I'm going to hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll start looking at some documents tomorrow as we wrap up Thesis Academy and I have a little bit more time to do that. I'll go through each document and I'll look for things the graduate college needs to have changed. Now, when I go through your documents, I'm not going to challenge your content. I'm not going to tell you that your theory is totally wrong or off base, or that your laboratory assignments are off and everything is bad. I'm going to assume you passed your defense, your committee signed off on your document. Anything that's in that document is good and has been approved by your academic department. What I am looking for is one, that it's readable. And I don't have an issue with that as much as I have in the past. That has with some of the writing programs we've implemented, that has gotten a lot better. But if it's complete gibberish and I can't read it, I will return it to you for one, to work on that. I will look to make sure all references match up. Now, I'm not going to have the time or space to go through and look for provenance for all of the references you may use, but I will make sure that you're not using a rogue reference that isn't cited in the text and vice versa, so that we don't have anything that isn't matching, that somebody could look at that and say, hey, that's not documented properly. If I find an instance where some of those don't match, I'll just make a little note that says, hey, this is missing or this doesn't match as I go through the document. Now, I don't necessarily go through and edit documents line by line, but I do catch a few grammar things here or there. If I catch those, I'll mark them. Things like a comma out of place, or a missing page number, or a missing period, capitalization. The one that really I see most often is what we call an orphan heading, where you've just got a heading just randomly at the bottom of the page, just hanging out. A lot of times I'll ask you to move that down to the next page, but just little things like that will come in that I'll ask you to fix. We have a formatting checklist that I have the students submit as well. So ideally the student has also gone through that, kind of with a fine-tooth comb, and is looking for those things. But I also don't expect students to catch everything, because you've also looked at your thesis or dissertation 1,000 times. And I know as you go through that, as you've read it, you know what it says. It's really easy to miss those little marks here or there because you go blind to them. I know what happens when I write stuff. As I go back and revise it, my brain tells me, no, that's cool, that's good, just move on. Whereas I'm seeing it for the first time. So I'll catch a few more of those as we go through. And then I'll look for basic formatting stuff. Page numbers, captions, headers, making sure everything's pulling into the table of contents correctly, making sure the sections are in the order they're supposed to be in. And just making sure that all we've dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's as far as that goes, so everything is uniform and correct. As I go through there and I mark everything, you'll see some notations. I try to be fairly direct with my notations. Sometimes you may have to send me an email that says, I don't know what that says. I try to write slowly and legibly. Or I might, every once in a while, I'll end up making a random mark somewhere that somebody's like, I don't know what that means. But for the most part, I'll hopefully give you concise directions that say, hey, this is the issue, this is the fix. I'll gather those all up, kind of write some notes on the front of it, and then we will send it back to the student. And at that point, it's the student's responsibility to incorporate those changes in their time frame. Like I said, depending on when they get it back, the last date for that to happen is on the 8th of December. So then it behooves me on my job now is to make sure you get your document back in enough time to meet that deadline. Some semesters I'm better at than others, depends on the workload we have, but that is the date we shoot for to make sure that you have an opportunity to submit by that last date. I should be okay for fall. I think based on my numbers, I think that'll be fine. Yeah.
So between the 3rd of November and the 8th of December, that seems a short time
It's very
with something coming back, going back within that same time. So can you talk a little more about what that flow actually time-wise quickly would look like?
Sure. Well, generally as we go through, and I'll show you ProQuest here in a second, just so you kind of have an idea of what it looks like. But generally when the documents come in, I just take those in order they're submitted. That way it just the system tells me which one to do, and I just work through them in order. Generally, as I get going, I can get through. I mean, it depends on the length of time too. I mean, if I've got someone's dissertation that's 300 pages, that may swallow a whole day. Whereas if I have, 2 smaller theses, I generally shoot for a document or 2 per day and then span it out so I can get that done. But it also depends on where you fall on that list. Obviously, if you're first on that list, you're going to get yours back probably within 10 days of the deadline date. If yours comes in at the bottom of the list, just because that's when ProQuest, you turned it in at midnight, which was totally fine. I mean, it's probably going to take me a couple of weeks to get to that one. So you're looking at probably within a week of the deadline. Ideally, my goal is to return all the documents I have 1 week before that date. So my internal date that I want to have all documents completed and back to students is the 1st of December. Again, I'll hit that as best as I possibly can. There may be some bleed over on that weekend potentially, but my goal is to always give students a week to get their stuff back in. Now,
Can I
if
ask
we
a
do run into
question?
extenuating circumstances, I do have
Hello?
some leeway. I mean, the
Hello?
registrar or the list I have to send to the registrar to say, yes, this student completed his or her thesis or dissertation is generally not due until after commencement. Just so there is a little bit of wiggle room. So if we have to carry past that deadline on the 8th for unforeseen circumstances, something I need a student to make, I do have a built-in kind of window if we need it. We try not to use it because it cleans things up and makes sure everything's kind of in the tight package. But if you're in that situation and we're approaching that deadline, know that I will work with you on that. And there's usually a week to 10-day buffer there. We can utilize it if we need to. Is there a question on Zoom? Good question. So the question there is if we got our document in before the 3rd, are we guaranteed to graduate? Guaranteed is a tough word without having to look at your document. But assuming there's no issue with your document, that the formatting is correct, we identify all the little things that need changed, and there's nothing structurally wrong with it, then anyone who turns in their documentation before the 3rd or on the deadline is guaranteed to graduate. That's why I do those in order. That's why I do all of those first in order they come in, because you met the deadline. Therefore, it's on me as in my job to make sure that you graduate. Again, barring anything that needs work. If we find anything amiss, that throws the equation off. But that is the only thing that could derail you. There is no way. I mean, your document will be reviewed. So the only thing that could slow you down there is if we would identify something that needs fixed. And that doesn't happen very often. So while I can't necessarily use the word guaranteed, what I can guarantee in that instance is your document will be reviewed because you met the deadline.
And if there is something that you fix it back to by December 8th, and the student will fix it properly.
Correct. So absolutely. So if we identify a problem, I mean, we'll try to stick to these deadlines, but I'll also work with students. So yeah, hopefully we'll identify the problem early enough that may not necessarily push you to the next semester. We may be able to address that issue and still complete. It would just depend on how big the issue is and how much time is left in the semester to address that issue. But that may not necessarily push you either, depending on what it is. Even in a semester where I've had to return a document or two because of readability issues, generally their student is pretty motivated to get that turned around, turned back in to meet that deadline. So I think I've only pushed a student to the following semester maybe 2 or 3 times in the time that I've been here. So I generally try to look at documents as they come in early. I'll be honest with you, I have been down a staff member for this semester, so that process has not started yet. So I will get to those documents. Say my goal was to start those, if not tomorrow, first thing Monday morning. So if you're in that boat, obviously, if you turned in on the 30th of September, you're obviously at the top of the queue because I will literally take them from the date submitted and then work my way down. So I think I actually have a couple who came in September. I think there's a couple that came in October, but those are at the top of the list. So given those parameters, you should have that back next week. If you haven't seen it by next Friday, then yes, email me and ask what's going on with it, and I will tell you what's going on. But ideally, you should have those back soon. Any other questions kind of on the deadline?
Yeah, I have write a question and
Emery's got a question. Oh, I didn't quite hear which. Emery, could you say that again? I didn't quite hear you. Well, that's her question. Okay, good. Okay. And again, and I say, I do apologize. I generally do try to get to those that come in early. Normally, I would try to pick those off early because it also behooves me to do that because that prevents me from having a lot to do at the end of the semester. That didn't happen
Hello.
this time out. So I apologize if you're in that boat, but suffice it to say that we will, again, if you've met that deadline, it will get back to you. It will not affect graduation unless there's something we need to address with the document. And I will try to get to those. I say those will start coming back very, very soon for students. And I do appreciate the early turn in. So I want to make sure that I put that out there for anybody who may be looking at this or maybe watching it later for future semesters. Obviously, the early turn in is the better because most of the time that will result in a quicker turnaround. Like I say, this fall, I have not gotten to that, but as a general rule, the earlier is always better. All right. Are there any questions on kind of just the time frame there, or any questions that I can ask as far as to how that process works in that interim? I mean, if you have questions about that gap, now is the time to. Yeah.
What that looks like for the next date, I think it's
The spring one, yeah, I can throw the spring dates up there. So the deadlines, so that's a great question. So if you're looking at spring 2024, you're looking at a recommended last day to defend of the 8th. Looks like your thesis or dissertation is due in my office on the 15th. And then there's a little bit more time because usually the spring semester is usually a little bit, it doesn't have the holiday break in the middle of it. The last day for me to return your document and have it come back in is the 26th of April. So it's about a 6-week window in the spring. The fall one gets a little truncated, especially with Thanksgiving in the middle, and same thing with summer. But if you're looking at spring 2024, you're looking at about a 6-week window there between the 15th and the 26th. It's only a week in the spring. The recommended last day to defend is the 8th. Yeah. And for the defense dates, this is the deadline that's hard. So I mean, if you miss this deadline, that puts you on our wait list. As far as the defense go, we recommend leaving yourself a buffer there because that'll give you, if you defend on the 8th, that gives you a week to make any changes you might need. So where you can still hit the deadline on the 15th. If you have a committee area document that you know is good and they want to defend on the 12th, that's fine as long as the document comes in on the 15th. So keep in mind that is the date with the asterisk is the one that you have to meet to be guaranteed that review spot for spring. So I think the logical thing to talk about then, as far as that goes, then is that what happens when I get through all of those earlier submitters and the deadline day of, and then all I have left are students who either defended late or turned in late for a variety of reasons that happen. There's some of which are out of your control, or you just needed some extra time. Any document that comes in after that asterisk date goes on our wait list. Invariably, I do try to take as many students off our wait list as possible. Some semesters are better than others. A lot of that depends on the volume of documents I have, kind of where they fall as far as when they were turned in. And then also when my list of the registrar is due. So it's kind of, there's a few factors that go into how many of those actually do get populated off the wait list. Correct. So the question is, what happens if you don't on the wait list? Yes. If you're one of those individuals that I can get to within the time frame and I do complete my review and get it back to you, then you're on track to graduate that semester. If you find yourself in that situation where you fall outside of that time window, then you'll get pushed to the next semester. But since you've submitted all your information and I have your document, you will get an enrollment waiver for that semester. So it won't cost you the credit. It'll just push your graduation to the next spot. So for fall to May, from May to August and so forth. So hopefully we'll make that landing as soft as possible if you do happen to find yourself in that situation. And I try to be transparent with students as well, as far as if you're on that wait list. I usually kind of about a week before our final deadline, I'll kind of take an idea of where I'm at. And if it's not going to leave enough time, then I'll be up front early enough to where you can make that, you can plan for that. I'll try not to leave it hanging so that you don't try to tie up those loose ends so that you know what's going on and kind of where you stand.
That's That's about 2 months prior to graduation.
Generally, that's about when it falls, yeah. And it falls earlier than a lot of other institutions on some levels because it literally is, I mean, I have 3 graduate assistants that help me with the processing. But it is just me going through documents. So, and I've gotten pretty good at it. I like to think I'm fairly quick and the process is fairly streamlined. But on a semester where I have 50 or 60, you know, it does take time to get through those. And I do try to do them as quickly as possible. Not always successful at that, but I do my best. Any questions about the wait list? I know we've mentioned that a couple of times. Sure.
About ProQuest.
Mhm.
So when you say it's submitted via ProQuest, do you have a general picture of what that looks like? Is it just a push a button and upload or more detailed than that or?
Well, let's move on. Let's talk about ProQuest for a second. That's a great question. Where's my window? Let's talk about that. So I'll give you an idea. This is kind of what it looks like on my end. Just for different students, obviously you can see the fields and stuff. Generally what I'll come in and I'll do is I can sort this by, I mean, whatever I need to do, title, student, department, status. I use date submitted quite a bit because obviously that's how I generate my list. As you can see here, as we move down, that's kind of hidden, but there's a list and it basically just takes it and puts them in there in the slot they were put into. The nice thing about this form here, let me come back, let me jump back here one. Because I think this might give you might answer your question better as we come back here. There's this button called submission information. So, and there's our little guide here. Here's our document upload instructions. And it'll tell you exactly, give you a link to the site. And it'll take you through your submission. You can pick your publishing option, whether you want to embargo or not. You fill out, tell you that you'll need to fill out your access form, contact information, which will need, name, number, email address, whether you're going to buy a copy or print and buy a copy of your thesis or dissertation. You're going to put that information in when you submit. So ProQuest has all that stuff indicated because they handle all the printing and binding. And then we need obviously your thesis information, title, abstract, committee, keywords, degree date. And then you'll upload your document. It's just a simple upload where you push the button, you'll upload your file. Keep in mind, we ask for a PDF of those files simply because ProQuest doesn't deal in Word. We may ask you for a Word version at some point if we need to do formatting because it's really hard to format a PDF. But for the initial review process, for sure, upload those as PDFs because otherwise ProQuest will convert them. And sometimes when you convert to PDF, conversion doesn't always look exactly the way it's supposed to. And generally, if I see one that's has a lot of issues, I'll try to read it out to students just in case that has happened. Yes. As long as you followed those instructions and you submitted your document by that date, which like I say was the 3rd, if you were submitting for fall, then you're in the club. Generally, the only time you'll hear from me until you get the document back is if there is an issue. So if you heard nothing, that means that everything went through the way it was supposed to. And I am thinking along the lines of, as we move into the spring, we probably do need some sort of a way for students to check in and check where they are in the queue and just to manage that process. I'm still in the process of building that. So unfortunately for you students who are trying to get out of here in December, that may not be of use to you. But I am realizing as we're going through Thesis Academy that there does need to be a way for you to check in and for students to log in. I'm not sure what form it would take, but be able to check in and see kind of how the queue is going, where they are in the queue, be able to manage those timelines as we go, which will help students and it'll also help me as well, because then I'll know from that accountability piece that I'm where I'm at in the queue and help to manage that. But that hasn't been built yet, unfortunately. You can email me as often as you'd like. I will shoot, like I say, I will shoot to have all documents back by December 1st. If you feel like it has been too long, shoot me an email that says, hey, I submitted here, what's the timeline? And I will give you an honest assessment of where I'm at for now, for those of you who are in the fall group. And you can email as many as you like. If you want to email me every day and say, hey, where are we at? Where are we at? I will answer those questions. Generally, if you are in that thing, you will get your document back. I have not had a semester in the 7 years that I've been here, barring something that needs to be rewritten, where a student has not turned in on time and made it to graduation. So that is in my purview. That is my goal. If you submit it on the 3rd, you will get your document back. I will try in this instance to, like I say, we'll create something. Maybe we can do it quickly and it can be for this semester as well. But in the meantime, just contact me, and that's fine if you do it a bunch of times. My goal here is to make sure, like I say, I was talking before this presentation, part of the reason to do this session is to give you an idea of who to talk to. Hopefully, if nothing else, that makes it more approachable. You know who to email, you know who to ask, you know what questions to ask, so that you can know where you're at in the system and know that you are where you're supposed to be. Because I don't want anybody to feel stressed or to feel like they missed the form or missed something or that something is wrong just because we're working through our system and it's taking a little bit of time to get to you. Yes, Tom.
So,
Before it goes to so the question here is as far you're talking about when you're working like to submit to tell the department that you're ready to defend or that you want to move to that next step. That is all handled in department, and each department has their own timeline on that. The only time the graduate college sees that is when you've decided, okay, we are ready to defend the whole project and move toward graduation. That's when the graduate college comes in. Yeah, good question. It says weedy as you want to get. This is the first one, so we'll do it.
It says, in the copyright section, click yes, and that you should file your own copyright. There's some people that don't have it.
Sure. Well, generally, as a rule, anything you write here at Boise State, you own copyright for. You are the copyright holder as the student. In our handbook and in our guide, it'll show you kind of where to put that in the document. It has its own little page at the bottom. It has the copyright symbol that confers not only your name, but Boise State as well. ProQuest has an option to file for copyright with them. We generally advise students, if you want to pay for that, you can. It is an extra fee and it's not associated with anything we do here. So we generally advise students to just stick with the copyright they already own. If you want to take that option, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not something that's gonna, it's not part of the whole process here at Boise State. You already have most of that.
Does that kind of pull up somewhere in the formatting instruction?
It does. So yes. So the template has it in the right spot, and then we also have a thesis handbook that also has an idea of where to put it. Both of which are available online. If you need the link for that, I can shoot you that and show you where that stuff is. Yes. Yep. Includes both documents. The structure for both is the same. Obviously, the dissertation is generally a little bit larger, but the structure is the same as far as the template goes.
How much is it bound?
You know, to be honest, I don't know. I used to have that information when we used to work with a publisher, but since we pushed that to ProQuest, I should know that, and maybe I'll reach out, but I honestly don't know how much this is off the top of my head. And yeah, but I know the charges do vary usually depending, how much color you're using, how many pages you have. But and I'm sure we could find that if a student needed that information, I could get a hold of ProQuest and ask them questions about that for sure. But it's a good question. Any other questions? No? Okay. I'm gonna go to back up to my squares here. So we've kind of talked about kind of where our deadlines fall. We've talked about what happens kind of in the interim in that period. I'm obviously making some notes in my head about things that we can clean up as we go through the process. And then generally what'll happen then, kind of after the fact, that final version will come in on whatever the deadline date it is for, obviously for fall, it's like, I think it's the 8th of December. Once that version comes in, that is the final version of your thesis or dissertation, that lives electronically through Boise State. At that point, then we'll make sure everybody's in by the date. Once we have all the documents in for that particular semester, we'll go through and start making sure we have everything we need as far as forms and stuff and formatting. We'll take a quick run through to make sure all those changes that are made, that we asked you to make, are made. Generally, like I say, those are just mostly formatting little things. We'll double check those. Once we are satisfied that all those things have been cleaned up, we will attach the Boise State seal to each document to make it official. And then at that point, it goes back out to your committee for review. So they can take one last look at it. They can see the changes that the graduate college has asked for. They will have one last chance to sign off on on the document, say, yep, that looks good. If under the impression, or if on the occasion that they do might say there is work to do, which has happened in the summer session, the student will then have an opportunity also to fix that and make any corrections that need to be made. The two examples I have from this summer, there was a mathematics thesis that the advisor went back through and realized a couple of the equations were wrong. Obviously, that's not something I'm going to catch because I'm not a mathematician. So there may be an instance of that where somebody looks at that and says, hey, that needs to be tweaked. We got that corrected, and that was turned back in with the correct equations. I think it took her 24 hours. And then we also had a committee member wanted to include a couple more shout outs to the journals some of the stuff was published in. And the student had a chance again to go back in, add those corrections. I think it was like 3 or 4 little lines. And then he resubmitted and away we went. So that could happen. Ideally, your committee will look at it, they'll scroll through it, they'll realize this is the same document they approved. And they'll just make sure that we didn't mess it up somehow, or we didn't change anything that needs to be the way it was. And then they'll hit accept. That'll come back to me and tell me that has been signed off on by the committee and it is ready to go to publish both to ProQuest and to ScholarWorks, unless it's embargoed. If it's embargoed, then obviously we'll enforce whatever embargo that the student has picked. But at that for the embargo,
No, for the actual, you said it.
they'll have quite a bit of time. We're working on kind of finalizing. We have some summer documents. Like I say, we've been down to staff member. So we do have a few summer documents we are still finalizing with the seal and getting ready to publish. Normally we'll have those done by now, but generally, as you think of the semester will end, we'll have our commencement, or in this case of summer, we'll just kind of move into fall. My list goes to the registrar usually about a week after the semester ends. And then once that list is finalized and we know who's graduating and who has moved on, then we'll start finalizing documents. We generally try to have them done about a month after. So there will be some carryover for my fall people. Ideally, the committee would get that review process by the middle of January at the latest. And there's usually, like I say, there's usually a little bit of a carryover there as we move from semester to semester. But that doesn't affect graduation at all. Once again, once that final document has come in, at that point, we're fine tuning if we need to. But at that point, your document has been accepted, and that won't affect whether you make it to graduation or not. Once that document is back in, if that makes sense.
It's just about publication.
Correct. At that point, all we're doing is cleaning it up to make sure it can be published. But it's not something that hasn't been reviewed or approved. And like I say, we try to be fairly quick about that because we also want students to be able to get their bound copies if they're ordered. So realizing that the sooner we publish to ProQuest, the sooner that those can go out and be delivered. And we are a little bit behind for fall 23 on that front from summer. So we are working to clean that up. We have brought in some new people and we are working on correcting that as we speak. Any other questions? Did I make the process more transparent or worse? Okay. Anybody who's doing, do we have any questions from Zoom? Okay. Well, in the grand scheme of things, I think that's really the information I wanted to convey kind of in the overarching structure of the process. Hopefully, like I say, especially the interim between deadlines. I know that can be kind of a dead period for students, again, because your document comes in, you lose control of it a little bit because it's in my office. So just keep in mind a couple of things on that. One, I do try to be as transparent as possible. So if there's an issue with, if you're wondering about a timeline or where we are or what's going on, please just pick up the phone, shoot me an email, stop by my office when I'm here on campus. Let me know so that I know, so I can hopefully alleviate some of that stress. So I can tell you where you are. Like I say, I try to generally be honest with students, let them know where they are in the process. Like I say, we'll come up with a way for students to do that that's a little more automated for future semesters. Yeah. My phone number is 426-3604. You can email me at waynecochran@boisestate.edu, or you can send one to the success@boisestate.edu as well. And then my office here on campus is in room 117 here in Riverfront Hall. I'm pointing, but you can't see that on the Zoom call, but we're the shiny glass office right here on the first floor, Riverfront Hall. I'm generally here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday if you wanted to catch me in person, but I'm always available for any of those links. And if you want to have a quick chat on Zoom, shoot me an email and we'll connect if you want a face-to-face as well. I'm happy to talk to students at any point, especially if you have questions about the process.
From really, the dates, November, December, that's also kind of about public. I mean, there may be technical, there may be some things to kind of clean up.
Mhm.
It's not about this is being accepted by your committee. It's there.
Yep.
So it's editorial.
Yes. Yeah. So the question here is kind of looking at November, December, as far as publication based. Yes. So this period we have in here, the only reason for me to reject a document or send it back is if, well, one, I do check for, sorry, I should mention before too, I do run them all through a plagiarism checker as well. So that's the first thing. I want to make sure that it's not plagiarized. Knock on wood, I haven't had one yet, so I don't anticipate that being an issue, but we do our diligence on that. So I'll check for that. And then again, if it comes down to if there's issues with it being readable, or we find major issues with references, generally those are kind of the only two categories that I will send it back to the student. And again, it'll be with the caveat of, hey, this needs extra work. And then I'll offer the support of myself and my staff to say, hey, here's what we need to get done to clean that up. And we'll do our best to make sure we address those issues. But once you pass your defense, your document is final. I mean, I am not going to step on the toes of your department or tell you that you can't move that forward. Your scholarship is your scholarship. So there are only a very few instances where we may have to say, hey, we need some more work on this. And that's mostly just, again, to clean things up, to make sure that everything is according to brand standards, make sure everything is in the best case possible, because it leaves here with Boise State's name on it, with your name on it, with your faculty's name on it. And it's my job to make sure that that is in the best shape as possible. So, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. No, it's absolutely an issue. It's still to be defined, I think. I do know, I have noticed as I've gone through the summer and the fall documents, obviously the part of the plagiarism checker now gives me a percentage of what it looks like AI language, which is new. It hasn't done that in the past. As a graduate college, we haven't really had a chance to sit down and say, okay, what does this mean? And make some adjustments. That day probably is coming at some point. But for now, I think all I would be able to do now is to keep an eye on that. I mean, obviously, if I got a document that says this was 100% generated by AI, it may not be something, I mean, it's a gray area. So, I mean, that may be something that I turn to my leadership to say, hey, this came in. Is there something we do for this? Do we need to make a policy change on that? Do we need to have some language in place to deal with that? But for now, I think, yeah, that's just, yeah. And that day is coming for me. I mean, as someone who looks at documents, I mean, that will become more prevalent, I think. And I got to find that fine line between using it and making sure that it fits in with the message. I think we'll get there, but yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I honestly don't know. I haven't talked to any committee members or chairs in the last little bit. I'd be curious to know that as well. That might be a conversation we have as people come in to say, are you experiencing that? I generally try to keep tabs as people come in, especially with the documents, if there are issues with that, but I haven't had any of those conversations yet, but
So, preparing for your oral defense, you did that, right?
correct.
Is that archived? Is that recorded?
I believe so. Yes, I believe it's up on our YouTube channel. So yeah, so I guess that's a great segue. So we'll wrap up. So obviously you had 4 parts of Thesis Academy. Hopefully you had a chance to either attend via Zoom or a live thing. But we have 4 sessions, one that went over what happens kind of when you're ready to graduate, kind of your timelines, what forms are needed, just kind of the overall view of the process. Thesis Academy 2 was how do I prepare for a defense? We had 3 faculty members come in and answer questions about how do you prepare, how do you handle questions, with kind of their perspective, not only on this side of the table as faculty members, but also what they went through as graduate students. That video is great to go back if you have an issue, if you have any kind of stress about preparing for a defense. There's some great information there. Session 3 was a grad write. That one's more of a hands-on. We'll try to do those as often as we can, where students can come in and just take an afternoon. We did a Saturday last month where we had a handful of students who came in and just worked on their project for a few hours with staff on hand to answer questions. And then step 4 is today to talk about, well, what do we do as we've moved on, we've submitted, now what comes next? So ideally, as we built this program out, and now that we've finished our fourth one as well, I'll kind of figure out how that fits and how that works for future semesters. But ideally, we wanted to take you through a whole semester, kind of hopefully debunk some of the questions that students have about how this process works. Maybe take some of the stress out of it, because I know there are a lot of moving pieces to it, but ideally, we want you to know what services are available, where the information is, who to contact, and kind of what your timeframes are, so that you can hopefully be a little less stressed about that process as you move through that last semester. Or ideally, we have a few semester students who maybe are looking at spring and they kind of look at that information in the fall. The earlier we kind of get you on track and get you in that timeline window, the better for us, because it also creates less work on our end, knowing that you're in the right slot where you're supposed to be and you're on time. As stuff comes up, as life comes up, we deal with that. We will roll with the punches. But we try to do our best to make sure that you're where you need to be on time, so that you can just meet all the deadlines and get out of here when you want to graduate, if that makes sense. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, I will gift you back a little bit of time. I appreciate all of you for participating in Thesis Academy number 4. We should have this video up. We'll archive it and get it up as soon as we can. I'm not sure what that process will be, maybe next week, but definitely by after the holiday. And then, yeah, please do go back and take a look at Thesis Academy 1 and 2. If you want to go back and watch those videos, there's some great information about the early part of the process. If in the meantime you run across a question, again, call me, email me, stop by my office. That is what I'm here for, to help shepherd you through this process. No question is too big or too small when it comes to this. And I promise that I will be nice and kind about my answers and make sure that you're where you're supposed to be. So
Why those other first 2, where do you find them?
those should be on our YouTube channel. I think, let me see.
What if you don't?
That's good. Hold on. I think there's a link here. So hold on. Yes, that's right. There they are. So if you click on this little link called workshops right there, if you scroll down here and you click on recorded workshops, see if it works. It'll take you to your list there. There's the How to Wire Your Committee on top. It looks like we need to add a couple still, so I will work on making sure they're all there. I don't think, it doesn't look like they're all there yet. So I will work on getting those up fairly soon, but that's where you would go to find them. And if you have trouble with that, obviously email me and I'll either upload something that's missing or correct our links if we need to. But, yeah. All right, I'm going to stop my share now. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody for coming. I'm gonna get to reading documents because I think that is where the most angst lies at the moment. So I will start that process so I can start getting some documents out to students. In the meantime, have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to answering any questions you might have. So thanks.
The Success Center, I mean, there's been such great things.